Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Remember, you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another video series called the Let's Talk Abs with the hockey coach Guru, coach friendship for the Hockey Nation Live Show. Today, we're going to talk about the Montreal Canadiens trade bait before the trade deadline March 21st. We're going to talk about which potential player can be traded by Kent Hughes and where they are going to go. So I'm going to talk about this. Don't go nowhere. Of course, you know the drill. You know at the beginning I will ask you this. Yes, don't forget to subscribe and likes about this video and tell me what you think about my prediction about the different player could be traded for the Montreal Canadiens and where they're going to go. So that's what we're going to talk about this. So let's dive in right away talking about the Let's Talk Abs with the hockey coach, Guru, coach Frenchy. The first one I want to mention to you guys is list of the players can be traded. Talking about Ben Chiarot, talking about Jeff Petry, Leekanen, Gallagher, Dvorak, Hoffman. It could be also Anderson, Armia, Biron, and Toffoli. But the one I'm thinking they could be traded the next couple of days or weeks for the Montreal Canadiens. The first one I want to talk about, honestly, it's all about the Ben Chiarot because he's a UFA. He's 31 years old, been in hockey in NHL for a couple of years. And I think some team are right now in the playoff race maybe would like to get Ben Chiarot. And 41 games so far, he has 9 points. He played an average of 23 minutes and 22. Usually he's used as a defenseman, a first pairing in the Montreal Canadiens. He has obviously a minus 25, but everybody in Montreal right now are really deep in minus. I believe he should be play on the second pairing defense and maybe third pairing defense. That's really where he should be if you put him on the right chair. So what I'm talking about, the St. Louis Blues are really interesting to get Ben Chiarot. In return, Montreal can targeting maybe the first round pick or the second round pick, but I'm pretty sure the first round pick is where he can get and return Montreal. Koskin is another player Montreal should look if they don't want to give the first round pick. Robinson is a 71 overall pick by the Blues, really a top 3 prospect in the organization for the Blues. Finally, Bolduc is another one. We know he was drafted first round last year by the Blues. So there are maybe the possible player I believe the Montreal could targeting with the Blues. The Fleur Panthers are really in discussion with Montreal, I believe, to get Ben Chiarot. They know they're missing a deep LD in their team. They are maybe targeting about Giordano or other defensemen in a short, but I believe Montreal could offer Ben Chiarot. In return, Owen Tippett is right now on the glass of the store. What are you talking about? They use him first line, second line, third line, fourth line right now. They maybe want to trade the 24 years old. He become an RFA at the end of the season. It could be the targeting for Montreal in return, or Denisenko. It's another deep players draft by the first round by the Florida Panthers. Eponiemi is another player maybe, or Noel. It could be targeting in return. Finally, the veteran Frank Venetro. It could be another one. We know he carry on a 2.7, become also UFA. I'm not sure if Montreal would like to get that one over there. And finally, maybe a pick in return. So it'll be interesting if they trade with Florida. Finally, I give you 2 more teams. The Calgary Flames are looking also to increase the left defenseman side. And return the first round pick. Petry could be in conversation. What we heard also the next couple hours ago, Chiarot, Leekanen together, and return Montreal get a first round pick, Peltier, and a dumping contract like Zadorov. Some add Wolf inside that deal. I don't believe Dustin Wolf would be a player the Calgary Flames would like to trade. Finally, the New York Rangers, if ever they're looking for Ben Chiarot, I'm thinking about a pick, first round pick, or Gravzov, where now is a play in KHL. The another one maybe we can look if they want to add the young Longvis, a right defenseman for New York Rangers, could be a possible in return for Ben Chiarot. Of course, Chiarot is going to be really in demand. I'm sure he's going to be traded at some point. It's just to see where he could be. Next player I want to talk about is Jeff Petry. We know he requests in December he would like to get traded. The carry-on right now at $6.25 million for a couple more years. And 37 game, honestly, play not the way it should be. With only 6 points, you have a TOI at 22.47 at that moment. He's really want to get out of Montreal. First, because the COVID situation, his family now live in USA, in Michigan. And he was born in Michigan. His dad played baseball over there. So he have a really good, deep relationship with the Michigan State and honestly with the Detroit Red Wings. The good thing about the Detroit Red Wings is they have a cap space for him. They're going to have 3 players right now. It's going to be a UFA, Max Stahl, DeKesser, and also Lady. So possible Eisenman could maybe open up some possibility to trade with the Montreal Canadiens. Jeff Petry is 34 years old. Really a bad year so far, honestly. Can he become again another like he was before? We don't know. But I think he would bring experience and helping maybe Edmonton's coming next season with the Detroit and Zeder over there. So it's something we have to follow up. Maybe Jeff Petry. Maybe other team in the West Conference team could maybe look for Jeff Petry. But I really believe Detroit is the number one to get Jeff Petry. Brendan Gallagher. He met finally Hughes a couple of days ago, and Gallagher, he wants to win. That's his first priority So for him, rebuild, it's not what he's looking for. A retool, maybe. Now, the problem with Brendan Gallagher, guy, he carried on at $6.5 million. And 26 games, he have 10 points. That's carrying about, 30, 40 points. But we know his energy, the spark plug, and what he brings inside the team, his leader, everything like that. His 2i is about 15, 19. So we know he play that kind of the minutes every game. We really put him with the Los Angeles Kings. Why? Because the relationship he has with Marc Bergevin, first of all. The second thing, he played for years with Philippe Danault. That's another plus over there. So I feel... Plus, the Los Angeles Kings losing the captain Brown, I think it will be done after the year. So you have money for him at some point. And return, Montreal could maybe look for picks to send Gallagher over there. Or Aki Thomas, or Villardi. You have other prospect over there, Turcotte. I'm not sure Turcotte will be the one we are targeting over there at that moment. Thomas Villardi is really the one... and maybe a pick in return for Gallagher. Maybe add also with this Leekanen. But I'm going to talk about Leekanen later. But something, if Gallagher goes somewhere, I really believe the Los Angeles Kings will be the team. Then we have a couple of things here, and I just mentioned about Leekanen. Leekanen is a $2.3 million, 26 years old. He have one more year RFA before he become a UFA. And 41 games, he have 19 points. Maybe one of the best seasons during his career. I remember he scored 18 goals the first year. Otherwise, he struggled on the offensive side. But he's not the kind of player you're looking with him. He's really a smart player, IQ on PK, vision, can read the play. He brings a lot other things like many players cannot do. And for the team go to playoff, you're looking for a player like Leekanen on your third line. He played a TOI 14-22. Montreal will now show him a lot more for other team. They put him on the first line, play with Toffoli, Leekanen, and Zuski at that moment. Yes, the Los Angeles Kings or maybe a team can be a package deal with Gallagher, or they're looking for Leekanen. A pick in return, Villardi. Now, Figueroa is maybe under the one Montreal could look about to get in return for Leekanen, and that would be interesting about that. Another thing, I think the Los Angeles Kings and the New York Rangers could be another team, could be another package deal with Ben Chiarot at that moment. We know Ben Chiarot was attracted with many other teams. Didn't mention Ben Chiarot with Toronto earlier, but I don't believe this could happen. So Rangers with Leekanen and Chiarot together, or Leekanen only. In return, you get a picks. You get Razov. That's something they can look about this. You can also, like I mentioned, Ajak, Longvis as the defenseman. They have a lot of young defensemen over there. My preference would be Schneider, but I don't think so. The New York Rangers are going to give him to Montreal Canadiens. Now, other players for the Montreal could be on the trade deadline. It could happen. I'm not sure about this. I'll just give you some perspective what could happen. Mike Hoffman, it could be a great player for the Penguins if going to race, because the connection Crosby, Hoffman, we know is sniper, we know on power play, it could be a good asset for the Penguins. I'm not going to talk a little bit what they get Montreal in return, but a picks would be someone about that one over there. The Dvorak could be another one. We know the Rangers may be losing Strome at the middle of at the end of the season. They are targeting a lot J.D. Miller with Vancouver for the Rangers. But I think Dvorak with 3 more years at $4 million could be someone the Rangers can look about that. Long shot, Jonathan Drouin, we know what he did with McKinnon. It could be Colorado. I don't see Colorado trade for Jonathan Drouin. They know it's already Rantanen does very well with McKinnon. So I'm not sure Drouin will be the right one over there. Finally, one player I believe I did not mention is Kulak. Kulak become a UFA. It could be a trade somewhere in NHL for a late pick. I will not be surprised he leave. Now, that gave us now Toffoli, Anderson, and your hands. Can they be traded? Not sure about that. About Anderson, we know what he can bring at some point, but he carried on a big contract, $5.5 million. I believe Hughes will have to keep Toffoli. That's the reason I did not mention and that. Secondly, you have 1 more year to go at $4 million. So I believe Toffoli is a part of what the Montreal want to do for the next couple of years. Now, what's to say with Jake Allen and Carey Price? I believe Jake Allen, because he's hurt, not going to be traded. And then Carey Price, because the situation with him, he decide what he wants to do. So honestly, Montreal have nothing to say about that one over there. I still believe they will wait for him. Now, this is all about a trade deadline. Maybe some of them, like Jeff Petry, can be carrying on this at the off-season, and the value will going to be increasing, and other teams could join the parade to get for Jeff Petry or other player for the Montreal Canadiens. So I just want to sharing with you what I'm thinking about the ABS trade bait. Let's go back at the front here. I want to give you a different possibility or direction what a Montreal can do. Again, it's just like a trade bait. It's just like it will happen. And I believe some of them are going to leave. For me, 3 players right now. I'm talking about Chiarot, Kulak, Petry, possibly Leekanen. There are 4 of them. I will not be surprised they got trade at the trade deadline. Otherwise, they will go to wait for the offseason. But at the end of the day, Ken Hughes and Jeff Gordon knows what they're going to do. The word patient, it's a word where they apply a lot or they use a lot, and during their conversation, interview of Ken Hughes does usually. So could maybe less of a couple of trade, but it will be interesting what the Montreal Canadiens is going to do for that trade deadline, where I believe some team are become a buyer, are going to knock the door at the Montreal Canadiens because they are a seller. On the flip side, well, it's not a good for Montreal. Many teams are now sellers and less teams are buyer. So it'll be interesting what could happen about the next couple of weeks for the Montreal Canadiens. That's conclude another video series of the Let's Talk Abs with the hockey coach, Guru Friendship for the Hockey Nation Live Show. But before we leave, we tell you, please don't forget to subscribe, to like, and tell me what you think about my video talking about the abs trade bait. And finally, you have greatness inside of you. Have an amazing, great weeks, everybody. An amazing, great day. I look forward to see you for the next time with another video for the Hockey Nation Live Show.